General Motors was the world's biggest industrial enterprise. Millions owed their livelihood to the company. The name GM and its iconic brands, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Buick, and Cadillac, were synonymous with luxury and innovation. Alfred Sloan was chairman of General Motors from 1937 to 1956.
That we must strive constantly to give the customer the highest quality and the greatest utility at the lowest possible price.
In the company's heyday, a subsequent GM chairman was famous for saying that what was good for General Motors was good for the country. Gary Hofbauer is an economist at Washington's Peterson Institute.
That statement was probably roughly accurate in the 50s and 60s when the U.S. pioneered mass production.
GM lost its way, Hofbauer says, in the 1970s, agreeing to overly generous wages, health care, and pensions, while dismissing the growing competition from Japan.
They became, much more like the government. They became quite bureaucratic.
In the 1990s, GM continued to shrink, losing market share year after year. Under now dismissed CEO Rick Wagner, the automaker continued its decline, sustaining $70 billion in losses, with cars that failed to excite the public. Tightening its belt, the company shed 60,000 jobs in the past 3 years. But in November 2008, GM said it needed cash from the government just to survive. President Obama has dismissed Wagner and given GM 60 days to produce a new business plan.
These companies and this industry must ultimately stand on their own, not as wards of the state.
New CEO Fritz Henderson says he will slash costs and sell off assets in a bid to avoid collapse.
Every one of our entries needs to be focused on not only a position in the marketplace with the customer, but it needs to be profitable.
One way or another, GM will probably survive, but it's unclear how successful its new line of cars, including electrics, will be. And the company's glory days are clearly in the past. Experts say GM is likely to be even smaller in the future. Barry Wood, VOA News, Washington.